Those do not work.
Hey, good evening, everybody. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties today, so we're using a microphone that we're going to have to share between the two councillors that are here, myself and Councillor Tree. And I think those of you that are online are okay to operate the way you're supposed to. So we're going to be doing things a little bit differently tonight. Okay, so I'd like to welcome you to Tuesday, March the 25th, Council Public Meeting. I'll call this meeting to order. Before we do that, I'll read the public hearing statement. If a person or a public body or specified person does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the City of Richmond Hill in respect to a proposed official plan amendment or zoning bylaw amendment, the person, public body, or specified person is not entitled to appeal the decision of the City Council to the Ontario Land Tribunal and may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal, unless in the opinion of the tribunal there are reasonable grounds to do so. So, having said that very poetic and elegant public hearing statement, we'll move on to the business in front of us. I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Tree, Councillor Hsu, do you want to second it? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Thank you very much. Disclosures of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof. Seeing none, we have scheduled business. We have two items tonight. The first one is a request for comments and zoning bylaw amendment application for 99 Lucas Street. So we will take the information from our planner, and that's Dia Mitrajad. Georgia? Okay, all right. I'm going to get it eventually. Thanks very much.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, and members of the public. The first item tonight involves a zoning bylaw amendment application to permit an additional lot on the lands municipally known as 99 Lucas Street. The subject lands are located on the east side of Lucas Street and north of Mill Street. The lands have a frontage of 16.76 meters, 54.99 feet, along Lucas Street and a total area of 0.08 hectares or 0.2 acres. The lands currently support a single detached dwelling. The subject lands are designated neighborhood in the city's official plan. The neighborhood designation permits low and medium density residential uses, including single detached dwellings and semi-detached dwellings. In terms of zoning, the property is currently zoned residential second density R2 zone under bylaw 66-71 as amended, which permits single detached dwellings subject to specific building and lot standards, but not semi-detached dwellings. The zoning bylaw amendment seeks to amend the provisions of the residential second density R2 zone under bylaw 66-71 as amended to permit semi-detached dwellings as a permitted use on the subject lands, along with site-specific provisions to facilitate the development proposal. The R2 zone permits single detached dwellings, recreational uses such as parks and playgrounds, institutional uses including churches, schools, and day nurseries, and public uses specific to building and lot standards. The R2 zone does not permit semi-detached dwellings. The development proposal involves the demolition of the existing single detached dwelling to permit the creation of an additional lot. Each lot will accommodate a new semi-detached dwelling. Staff have circulated the application to internal departments and external agencies for review and comments. The purpose of the report is to provide council and the public with an overview of the applicant's development proposal and has been structured for information purposes only, with the recommendation that all comments be referred back to staff for further consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And for the applicant, I think we have Saeed Mubababi. Is that right? Oh, online. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. If you want to, you got 5 minutes to address council.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and member of the council. My name is Saeed Mahboubi. Actually, the general specification of the site dear the city staff, mentioned here, just wanna bring it up here that the subject land on zone has a residential second density R2 zone under the zoning bylaw 6675 as amended, and permitted residential uses including single family detached dwelling. A semi-detached dwelling are not permitted under the R2 zone, and in my opinion, that we need to change the draft for the zoning amendment from the R2 zone, changing the rezoning to subject land to residential multiple first density RM1 zone. If we go to page 16, the number, page 16, the numbers 116 Lucas Avenue and 170 Lucas Avenue, both of them approved by City Council, and they're rezoned from the R2 zone to RM1 zone. That's my point, and I think that everything is covered by the city staff. Part of it.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak on this matter? Okay, seeing none, and I don't think we have anybody signed up as delegations. We'll bring this back to council. So, Councillor Tree, it's in your ward. I'd like to get us started with a motion to refer all comments tonight back to staff. Just for those in the members of the public, we aren't making any final decisions on these matters tonight. This is a meeting under the Planning Act where we're really just gathering information from the application, making comments from the public and from council, and then all those comments are referred back to staff. So there won't be any final decisions being made tonight. Okay, over to you. I feel like we're like doing some sort of like a duet.
Yes, only two of us now.
So go ahead.
Have a talk show here. Okay, thank you so much for coming here for City Hall, so discussing this proposal. I think fundamentally there don't have too much questions here. My question here is only one regarding zonings. I see a lot of approved solutions here, a project here. Whenever on Benson Street, Lucas Street, also Han Street, we do have 3 levels of the storage buildings, townhouses nearby here. So for the zoning, I know we have a master zoning coming. Regarding to the current zoning, I'm sure it's going to be quite old. So when do you have a timeline to maybe addressing or modify this current zoning to embed it into the new master plan? Because I'm assuming more and more similar requests are coming to the nearby neighbors. So just for by zoning perspective, any timelines regarding that?
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So the comprehensive zoning bylaw, the neighborhoods, which this proposal would fall in to, is being initiated now with a proposed completion date of the end of October of this year. So a lot of the zoning standards, including building height, will be established through the comprehensive zoning bylaw, the next phase, which we are embarking on after Wednesday's meeting. And it would establish building heights in consideration of tertiary plans. So to answer your question, I don't know that necessarily that 3-story building heights will be permitted as of right. We will do a review of the neighborhoods, the characteristics, and determine what the appropriate building heights will be in each prospective neighborhood. But that will be established as part of the next phase of the comprehensive zoning bylaw project.
Okay, thank you much. Yeah, I believe because we do have a lot of legacy by the zoning laws here, as long as the new master plan is coming here, this type of the proposal should be approved automatically or either by the AOM instead of council approval. That is my understanding. I don't have further questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Thompson, do you want to second the motion and do you have some comments? You're on mute. There, now you're not.
Yes, I will certainly second the motion. I do have some comments that I would like to make. and these may sound like questions, but they're actually comments. So I know that the 45% front yard landscaping is currently under review through the city's comprehensive zoning bylaw, along with the front yard parking and the driveway regulations. And the current landscaping talks about, it includes surface materials such as unit pavers, patio stones, concrete, or interlock. And I'm certainly hopeful, take this as a comment, that from the review, the comprehensive review, we'll see changes. Because to me, landscaping of the front yard of a residential property should be about vegetation such as trees, shrubs, flowers, grass, and not include concrete and interlock. Unless, of course, the interlock is clearly a pedestrian pathway to access the dwelling and not used for parking. I've also noticed that the applicant's going to be required to convey 5 feet of right-of-way widening along Lucas Street, which makes me wonder what impact that actually might have on that 45% landscaping requirement. Again, I'm just making a comment right now, not looking for an answer. I'm just throwing that out there that it does make me wonder what the impact might be. I am happy to see that staff intend to assess the application on the basis of guidelines contained within the tertiary plan and the village core neighborhood design guidelines to ensure the proposal maintains general compatibility with adjacent and surrounding development. Myself, having previously owned a property on Mill Street just west of Lucas, coupled with my time as a member of the Committee of Adjustment, I'm very familiar with both the tertiary plan and the village core neighborhood design guidelines. And I see that staff have already flagged that the tertiary plan directs a maximum height of 2 stories, whereas the proposed dwellings are considered to be 3 stories. When I look at the elevations provided, I do not see anything that even remotely respects the village core neighborhood design guidelines. Again, that's just a comment. I'm just throwing that out there. So I'm going to stop here, but I'm concerned that this proposal will not be compatible with the character of the adjacent and surrounding areas with respect to the pattern of front, rear, and side yard setbacks, as well as landscaped opened areas. So beyond that, I concur with staff and support the motion for a more detailed review and evaluation of this proposal in context of the applicable policies of the plan and the tertiary plan, and that this still needs to be completed following the receipt of comments being referred back to staff. Those are all my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, I'll just, I'm just interested, there's a comment, I think I understood it from the applicant, a discrepancy between allowing and not allowing semi-detached homes. Can you clarify that for me? Clarify whether that built form is in fact allowed? I presume it is.
The current zoning permissions doesn't allow for semi-detached dwellings, so hence the application to rezone the property.
Okay.
The applicant was initially proposing to keep the R2 zone category.
Right.
And because it is not a permitted use under the R2 zone category, staff are recommending that they change the zone category to facilitate the proposed semi-detached dwellings.
Got it. Okay, that's what I thought I understood. Okay. All right, so we have a motion in front of us then. All those in favor and opposed, that carries unanimously. And again, that's a motion to refer all comments back to staff. Okay, so the next and final application that we have tonight is a request for comment zoning bylaw amendment application at 112 Elgin Mills Road West. And this is Francesco Caparelli from our side to give us an overview of the application. So Mr. Caparelli, grab that microphone and be like Tina Turner. Or just give us the facts. It's up to you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, and members of the public. This second item tonight involves the submission of a proposed zoning bylaw amendment application for the lands municipally known as 112 Elgin Mills Road West. To begin, the subject lands are located on the north side of Elgin Mills Road West, east of Shaftesbury Avenue, and west of Yonge Street. The lands have frontage of 37.93 meters along Elgin Mills Road West and a lot area of 0.29 hectares, and currently support an existing one-story single detached dwelling and a 1.5-story detached garage, which are proposed to be demolished in order to facilitate the proposed development. The proposal is to permit a medium-density residential development to be comprised of 15 townhouse dwelling units on a common element condominium road on the subject lands. The property is surrounded by existing low and medium-density residential uses to the north, west, and south. To the east is an unopened road allowance, Dixon Street, which provides access to an existing condominium townhouse development. The subject lands are designated neighborhood in accordance with the city's official plan. The neighborhood designation permits low and medium density residential uses, among other uses subject to specific policy criteria outlined in the plan. Medium density residential uses include low-rise townhouses and are permitted where lands have frontage on arterial streets such as Elgin Mills Road West. The subject lands are currently zoned residential single-family R8 zone under bylaw 19087 as amended. The proposed block townhouses are not permitted under the R8 zone, and therefore the applicant is seeking approval to rezone the subject lands to residential multiple family 1 RM1 zone under bylaw 19087 as amended, with site-specific development standards in order to permit the proposed medium-density residential development. The applicant is seeking council's approval to amend the zoning bylaw to permit the construction of a medium-density residential development to be comprised of 15 townhouse dwelling units on a private common element condominium road on the subject lands. Planning staff have circulated the application to internal departments and external agencies for review and comments. The purpose of this report is to provide council and the public an overview of the development proposal and has been structured for information purposes only, with the recommendation that all comments be received and referred back to staff for consideration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And we've got several pieces of correspondence that we've received. And the next person to speak is Harry Zhu and Ali Malik from the applicant. So, sir, you got 5 minutes to address council.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and also good evening, member of council, and also staff, and also member of public. I know some people here, folks here, they are actually our neighbor, and also my name is Harry Zhu, a planner from Arcadis, and helping the landowner to proceed with this townhouse application. And to come with me tonight is also Ali Malik, our project architect. So I'm trying to get into fast because we don't got 5 minutes, but then let me see how to work on this. Okay, perfect. And then to just give you like a very quick overview here. So firstly, it's a landowner. It's a number company, but it's actually run by Residence Development Inc. Yeah, it's a pretty new company in the GTA region, but they already trying to develop across the GTA region with some good quality housing project and including apartment and also townhouse development. So this could potentially be some of their very early stage of the project coming out. And we got the 112 Elgin Mill site here, and like Francesco mentioned, very good introduction. Thank you for that. And then we got 39 meter frontage on Elgin Mill and 69 on Dixon Street. And in the surrounding area, mostly are just low density residential area. And also a little bit to the west, if you can see in the map here, there is a similar townhouse development. And also just want to bring in here that to remind, if you see the map 8 of the staff report, there is actually an envision of the block plan of the Deep River Lane that actually envisioned the north side of Elgin Mill to become a townhouse development. So this development here is part of that vision to make it complete. And like Francesco mentioned, so neighborhood designation permits medium housing density, and also we are rezoning to IM1. That's correct. And The next page is really just to show you the site plan, and probably in a better way than a technical site plan that you will see in the application package. Here we got 3 blocks of townhouses. Block 1, fronting on Elgin Mills Road, and then that will be 4-story in accordance with the official plan. And then block 2 and 3 in the back, since it is not fronting onto the Elgin Mills Road, we make it into 3 stories. And then 1 driveway connecting to Dixon Street, and then out to the Elgin Mills Road. In total, 15 townhouses block, and every single unit will have 2 parking spaces at the least. And then we also got 4 additional parking spaces for visitor parking. The only thing I would say right now with the staff comment is that we probably only need 1 handicap parking. So with that number of the parking spaces might switch a little bit. But then in general, this is a very simple site plan. We're trying to make it compact, but also, meet all the needs of the residents. And then you can see that for block 1 and the block 3, the 2 townhouses which front onto some sort of public right-of-way, they will have direct access and pedestrian connection onto the municipal sidewalk. And then just to give you a bit more of the site stats as a recap here, so that is a technical site plan that we submitted. Block 1 is 4-story, block 2 and 3 will be 3-story, and we got 30 spaces in total for indoor garage, and then 4 spaces for outdoor garage. Then I will leave the floor to Ali, my friend, and then to just introduce a little bit of the architectural concept quickly.
Good evening, member of the committee and the public. My name is Ali Malik, and I am architect of a project. I just wanted to quickly touch on the idea behind the design of this development and the complex. Mostly we try to fade the design and the proposal in the neighborhood by combining of the flat roof and the slope roof, which we're trying to bring some element from the traditional design like a dormer in this design, and also using the traditional material like a brick, but in a more modern color. To the whole complex in order to seamlessly fade with the neighborhood. We try to view the design and concept in order to make sure that we comply with the most of requirement from the I think that's comply with most of the requirement from the city, and then we work very closely with the planning department in order to make sure that we complete all the requirement as well. I just wanted. So can we continue a little bit? Oh, no.
You're actually at your time, so if you can wrap up. But
okay, just
yeah.
you want to? I think I'm.
No, that's fine.
Enough,
Thank
yeah.
you. Go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so I will just wrap up quickly. But then these are the concept of the townhouse. I think we're trying to make it modern and generally be pretty commonly seen like a townhouse type across the city of Richmond Hill. There's a lot of them similar to that to this style. And then in order to wrap up here, so just a conclusion, we are developing a townhouse developing here that's pretty much, we believe it's compatible and consistent with the official plan vision, and also especially in the height, and also we have tried our best to maneuver the site plan a little bit. So in the general context of the site plan should be compatible with the surrounding area and be very similar to the traditional townhouse development, especially corner townhouse development across the city of Richmond Hill. And then I know that there's still probably going to be some technical issue. Most of them has been addressed by the pre-application stages. And right now here we are still going to do some resubmission in order to address some further technical comments. And we understand that we are here to hear the planning comments from the council and also from the member of the public. So we can go back and probably do some further revision on that. In general, it's my professional opinion that believe that this is good planning. And so here, yeah, we are here to answer questions and also to listen to the comment. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have, I don't think we have anybody for online that have signed signed up to speak. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak? So for those of you that would like to speak, come on up. When you're called, you need to say your name and for the record and your address, but anybody is welcome to speak. So come on up, sir. Oh, I guess we need a microphone. Okay. Do your best, like, you know, Elton John or something. Go ahead.
Well, Tina Turner's dead, so I'd probably be better than
True.
Mr.
That's a good
Caprari.
point. That's a good point. So you got 5 minutes, sir, to address council.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, and staff. My name is Dominic Conforti. My name is Dominic Conforti, and I'm here to speak this evening on behalf of Mr. Angelo Sposato, who resides at 120 Elgin Mills and has resided there for approximately 3 decades. As far as the applicant's suggestion that this is compatible with the surrounding land use, I clearly have some objection to that. If you look at the site plan, and if you can pull it up, it would be helpful. Mr. Sposato's property is adjoining this project, and on one side, it's block number 2, which is 3 stories in height and 5 meters away from his fence line. The block 1, which is in front, is 4 stories high. And he's even, I think it's 1.2 meter setback. I have a hard time reading it. Also, the materials that were submitted show somewhat of an attractive front elevation, but they don't show the back, which will be facing Mr. Sposato. And all these individuals residing there will look on his backyard while he's trying to enjoy it. So there is a problem with the compatibility issue. There's also an issue with respect to the entrance to the property and the driveway. If you looked at the site plan, you can see that Mr. Sposato's home is actually perpendicular to the driveway. So any cars turning in will actually flash their lights right into his dining room and kitchen. So he would have very little, space that he can enjoy having a cup of coffee in the morning. So there's an issue there as well. As far as the future fencing that will be proposed along Elgin Mills, that would provide some concerns to Mr. Sposato trying to back up and having proper sight distance if children are walking on the sidewalk or if they're riding a little bicycle. So we have some issues with safety there. With respect to the entrance off of Elgin Mills, there's very little distance to turn in. So any vehicles that are large vehicles like garbage vehicles, moving trucks, and so on, would actually impact any intrusion from any vehicles coming into that Dixon Road from Elgin Mills, and it would create stacking and also would create a conflict between people and traffic at that juncture coming in. So there is concerns there. As I indicated, Mr. and Mr. Sposato have lived there for approximately 3 decades. They did some extensive renovations on the home in 2010. Of time and future time at this home. It appears before you that the developer's intent was to maximize the number of units on the project and gave little regard to the surrounding land uses. Now, I'm aware of all the other applicants that the homeowners in the area that submitted concerns, and ours is significant. I'm sure theirs are also. So in light of the situation, I think that the application before you has a lot of serious concerns and impacts on Mr. Sposato's property. And it would be our respective recommendation that staff consider all these issues. And in the future, that council considers this in conjunction with any future decision on the property. I'd be pleased to address any of your concerns or questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, sir. You could have a seat. Is there anybody else in the audience would like to speak? Okay. Okay, come on up, sir. Just state your name and address for the record, and you've got 5 minutes to let us know your thoughts on this.
Good evening. My name is Eric Aoyang. I am resident in 100 Elgin Mills townhouses. Actually, I sent my comment this morning to the council. Okay? But and this time I want to have some clarification from the town or from the architect, because when I moved in, and I believe that the Dixon Road, so-called Dixon Road, is the private road to the 100 Elgin Mills townhouses. So I want to clarify that Dixon Road, is that the private road or is a public road? So the new development can use that road.
Okay, actually, this isn't really a time for a question and answer, but what I'll do is I'll ask that question in my time, so you will get that answer. Okay.
Okay, right. Okay. The second point is also the traffic. That's what I'm concerned. If they can open the access on the Dixon Road at Dixon Road, so I also have a concern that the traffic conjunction is very short traffic, and there's two lanes merged to the one lane just in front, just at the only about 20 meters away from the Dixon Road. So it's very concerning, and because the traffic, when the two lanes merge, when the car merge from two lanes to one lane, they usually will speed up or to get the space. So I usually, most of the time, many times, when I need to slow down when I'm turning into the Dixon Road, and the car behind me always attached very close, and also sometimes they will pass me at the center lane. So I think it's pretty concerning about the traffic at the access. If they also have opening that access, and the visual problem, when turning in, we cannot see very clear about the traffic. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much. I appreciate your comments. Anybody else would like to speak? No, nobody else? Okay, we'll bring this back to council then, and this is another Ward 4 item, so we'll bring this to Councillor Tree. And
Okay.
you'll be happy to move the motion?
Yeah, let me move the motion. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chair. So thank you so much for our applicants, also our residents come here to have this chat. So I'm going to, on behalf of our residents, I see 4 emails here for your questions. I'm going to ask one by one. So if the first round, we're using 5 minutes, I'll go to the second round. So my first question regarding to this 4 storage buildings along the Elgin Mills, from bylaw perspective, are we allowed, or this plan applications regarding to the 4 stories, are we allowed by city, either by city bylaw or by regional bylaw?
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So the city's official plan allows for 4-story residential built forms along arterial roads. So in this case, our Elgin Mills Road West is considered an arterial road, and therefore 4 stories is allowed along the Elgin Mills Road frontage. Where we have multiple developments, i.e. multiple blocks of townhouses, in order to transition to older established homes, we require the height to grade downward to typically what's existent, which is 2 stories. So that's why you have along the front of the road frontage 4 stories, and then the interior blocks go down to 3 stories, and those are all contemplated within the city's official plan.
Okay, I read this report regarding the heights. So I know nearby we have a lot of existing heights townhouses. From height perspective, is this block, I think block B, facing to the Elgin Mills, comply with height requirement as well? Compared with nearby townhouses we approved and already in place.
Through the chair to Councillor Tree, all the nearby townhouses are typically that have been approved in the area are 3 stories.
So the heights, are they similar, or is this?
They are similar.
Okay, so from height perspective, the 4 floors compared with 3 floors nearby are almost similar heights.
Correct.
Okay, another question is coming from nearby neighbors. I think gentlemen from there on behalf, Angela already mentioned, but I want to bring this one as well. Because nearby we only have 1.5 stories house there. From the angular perspective, this new proposal will lead into any scheduling issues?
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So typically we don't require shadow studies related from ground related residential to ground related residential. So for existing residential homes, we don't typically require. That's usually more of a issue with respect to higher built forms, high density, medium, mid-rise buildings relative to ground related. There clearly is obviously going to be a height differential between the two. 1.5 stories, as the delegate mentioned, is over a 30-year-old home at a very minimum. So they generally tended to be single and a half story type dwellings. So this is a new development alongside an existing mature area. So there will be a height differential, but we don't typically require a shadow study.
Okay, another question regarding the vehicles. So I see this 15 townhouses built up here in proposal. So I know there is going to be another proposal which is big one. So I'll tell our all residents nearby. So there is coming new proposal, 7 stories, around 200 units, just the east side of Dixon Road. So now we're talking about the west side. Now east side we have around 200 units here as well. So I do have concerns about traffic. Along the north side of Argan Mills, we're going to have more and more proposals and buildings here. What is the plan to accommodate more residents? Is there anything from York region they're going to widen the Argan Mills Street? Thank you.
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So the Elgin Mills Road West is under the regional jurisdiction. And as part of this development, we are requiring a road widening to satisfy the ultimate road width for Elgin Mills Road West, which I believe is 18 meters wide to be planned in the future. So any development along Elgin Mills Road West will be required to provide that road widening so that the region can widen Elgin Mills Road to its ultimate right-of-way width of 18 meters in the future.
Regarding to this Block B, which is 4 stories facing to Elgin Mills, what is front setback, just in case in the future we have development?
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So it's the plans are a little bit blurry, but it appears that they vary the front yard setback to the future property line, which includes the road widening. So they're anywhere from approximately 3 to 4 meters for front yard setbacks to the future property line, which includes the road widening.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question regarding the trees. I know the street has a lot of mature trees. So from the city's perspective, do we have any considerations for the tree protections or cutting or replacement, etc.?
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So my understanding is that there are 5 trees being removed, and where replanting is not possible, tree compensation in accordance with the city's tree bylaw will be required.
So we in the school, there are only 5 trees being in school, right? So we're going to cut off, and there's no plan for replacement due to the size of this proposal.
At this time, the tree replanting will be considered as part of the future site plan application, and where the 5 trees cannot be replaced, tree compensation. So likely, we will try to find space for their compensation tree replacement.
Okay, I'm going to echo for the residents living on 120 Argan West, because if you're driving along the Argan Mills, go inside to the parking lot or get out as well. If this 4-story buildings very close to the main street, and the signal in and out from parking lot will be challenged. So I would suggest our applicants please work with our planning team, also the residents, find out if there are any solutions we can address that in and out concerns for the safety purpose. That's my first round. I'm going to the next question as well. We do have a lot of residents asking questions, so I go to the next one. Just give me a second. The second question regarding to the, I think it's trees already covered, townhouse covered, traffic already covered. That well, I go to the third one. Hold on. Yeah, the Dixon Road. So Dixon Road, there are two parts, as I know. The front end will be is public. My time has 1 minute. So front end from the townhouse area to the Aggie Mills is city owned, right? It's not private. I'll see Eric ask that question.
Through the chair to Councillor Tree. So Dixon Street is a city-owned unopened road allowance. And at the time of development of the condo development at 100 Elgin Mills Road West, the city entered into an existing licensing agreement for that portion of the road. And it was always in relation, and right now it was in relation to maintenance of Dixon Street. So the city will be assuming responsibility of the road as a public right-of-way as part of this development. And as part of this development, the city will assume Dixon Street as a public right-of-way.
Okay. Thank you so much for that the explanation. Also, I want notice for the resident living nearby in the townhouse area, because city will assume that part of Dixon Road in the future, your snow services will be impacted. I know the Dixon Road is used to be a very private road, so your snow service is handled by the contractor. Your own contractor is faster. Since city take over, this is not main or artery road. If you get out from your home, your front yard might be clean, but the Dixon Road to the Aggie Mills might still cover the snow. So unfortunately, this is the way it is. So I'll just give you a heads up. It might impact your in and out from your community. I'm going to go to the second round. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next person I've got is Councillor Silovitz and then Councillor Thompson. So Councillor Silovitz, you'll second the motion to refer all comments back to staff?
Yes, I will second. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everyone. I just have a few comments. Number one, I agree with the first gentleman who spoke. I apologize, I can't remember your name, about the egress and ingress off Dixon, being very close to the stop sign on Elgin Mills. And I can imagine, and I hope that, I'm sure, traffic and engineering will be studying that. So I just want to make sure that that's noted in all of these comments. I do agree that there could be some kind of problem there with traffic, not necessarily going in, but coming out. My other concern is, while I understand that this is in keeping with our with everything that's described within this staff report, 15 units is allowed, the 3-4 stories are allowed. I am concerned that there's not enough visitor parking, but I don't know where any more can be placed. I understand that driveways serve as a parking space, but in reality, that never works out for visitor parking. So that's another concern. One more concern, actually two more, is about garbage. I want to make sure that there is enough space on each lot to hold garbage for collection. And just through you, Mr. Chair, if I may, just one question to Director Janetta. Is this going to be publicly picked up garbage, or is it going to be private?
Through the chair to Councillor Silovitz, my understanding is that it is going to be public waste pickup.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So that I would imagine that's why there's no specific garbage area to store any kinds of garbage. And then my last comment is with regards to snow storage. There doesn't appear to be any place here to store snow. So from my experience with condo buildings and townhouse complexes, what'll happen is the snow is going to be stored and pushed into those parking spaces. And then once those parking spaces are taken up by snow mountains, there's no place to park and everything is going to go into Dixon. So I would ask that the applicant continue discussions with our staff as to perhaps finding a viable place for snow storage. It is very important. And as we move further into climate change, there's no question that this is something that needs to be very carefully considered by anybody who is building a residential complex. That's all. So thank you very much. I appreciate the discussion. And I thank the applicant and our staff for presenting to us tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Thompson, you're next.
Thank you very much. Thank you, staff, applicant, for putting together your presentations. And thank you, Councillor Silovitz, for your questions. You took most of the ones that I had, written down here. But I would like to just get a little bit more clarification. So I was a little surprised with the answer that the city will be handling the waste pickup. So, and when you're trying to do that in conjunction with a snowstorm, I'm trying to sort out, well, who's handling the snow? Is the city also handling the snow, or is this, will that be a private contractor?
Through the chair to Councillor Thompson. So snow removal on site would be the responsibility of the condo corporation. However, through the circulation of this application, it has been determined that public waste pickup will be provided to this development.
Okay, that's interesting. That's going to be quite the coordination, I think. The Dixon Road. So would it be possible that we could get that up on screen where we can see how much of Dixon Road the city is responsible for before it becomes a condominium private road?
Hang on a sec. We'll try to get that up. I think it's actually the one where we show the, no, not that one. Not that one. I wonder.
Oh, maybe okay. It's probably part of the report. I think it was part of the report, and I don't remember which appendix that was. Okay, so at some point, Dixon Road will change to condominium private road. Is that correct?
No, I think it's the opposite. It's a road right now that the city owns, but it's being used by 100 Elgin Mills West as an access road. But I think what the director was saying is that the road will be assumed if this development happens. The Dixon Road will be assumed in large part by the city as a city road.
Through the chair, that is correct. So when the 100 Elgin Mills Road West was developed, the city required the developer to actually develop that road as up to municipal standards in the eventuality that we would assume the road in the future. As part of this application, that time has come. So there is about a 20-meter width, which includes a 15-meter portion of the road. actual pavement width that will be assumed by the city. The city may, through the assumption of that road, have to reconfigure that road, i.e. take care of the boulevards as may be necessary, and that will be all part of this approval of this application.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Through the chair, I guess
Okay, Councillor.
Yeah, I guess my concern there is that it's is with the snow removal. I mean, if
Councillor Thompson, are you still there?
you're not hearing me?
I don't see him.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Castro can
Councillor
hear
Thompson,
me.
go ahead.
Okay. I guess the part that concerns me is the snow removal. So if we're sending a truck in there, it's got to come back out. So it means it's got to turn around somewhere. Does that mean it's going all the way to Town Manor and going through their circle and coming back out again?
Through the chair to Councillor Thompson, this is one concern that is continuing to be evaluated because of the turnaround that is going to be required for public snow vehicles to go in and maintain Dixon Street once it is assumed by the city. My understanding is that final comments have not been yet provided on this particular issue and will be as part of the recommendation report that comes forward in the future.
Okay, I appreciate that. So the egress and ingress into the into Dixon Road off of Elgin Mills. So with Elgin Mills being a regional road, if we thought that a traffic light would be appropriate there, that might only operate when somebody actually is coming out of the Dixon Road. Is that something we have any say in, or is that solely with the region?
Through the chair to Councillor Thompson, that's actually entirely with the regions, under the region's jurisdiction. Typically, traffic light demand studies are required, and they will determine whether it meets the threshold for a traffic light on a regional road.
Okay. And if that, thank you very much. Through the chair, if that was, if the region determined that they didn't feel a traffic light was appropriate, as a municipality, do we have much say in terms of perhaps right in, right out as being a potential solution to concerns of the traffic there, particularly, people trying to come out and turn left, maybe it should be a right only. Same thing, those turning left to come in, then, maybe this should be a right in, right out. Is that something we have any ability to do, or again, does that fall with the region?
So the straight answer is that that is part of the regional jurisdiction. However, there is opportunity to have those discussions with the region as part of the review of the future site plan application, if the city felt strongly that that is something that we would like the region to consider.
Right, I appreciate that. Finally, the headlights that were mentioned about the vehicles that will be coming in off of Dixon and heading towards the property to the west. Would that be something where either a fence blockade or shrubbery or something, is that typical as a solution, or how, maybe it's too soon and that would be something as part of site plan, but if you could speak to that, would be appreciated.
So my understanding, based on the plans that have been submitted to the city, that a fencing is provided along the westerly limit of the property, which would help shield the 120 Elgin Mills Road West from lighting. An additional buffering to fencing would be plantings along that fence to again help mitigate. any type of vehicle lighting coming into the development adjacent to 120 Elgin Mills Road West.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I
And
appreciate
that is
those
something
answers.
that we could, and that is something that we could request through the remaining site plan application.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Those are my questions. All in all, I'm certainly in favor of a townhouse project. I think this is the right place for it. I do think it's consistent with what we have going on in the area, and it certainly beats a high-rise proposal coming in on this site. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else on the first round? Okay, seeing none, Councillor Tree, did you want to do a second round?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me do the second round. Regarding to the snow services, I did have a conversation with operation team. So the road here is Dixon is go straight north and then turn east. So the public area for this Dixon road is from Elgin Mills, go to the deep at the end. So that's public sectors. And the city will assume this portion. And then when you turn east, that's a private section. So the snow services will be on the sidewalk. Go to that turning point. Operation team will have a new turning point designed at the end of the bottom of this lane, so the trucks can be turned around. And we are not using the big one, instead using the small size of the truck, so they can turn around from the bottom of the street. My next question is regarding to still the traffic problem here at this corner. Since there will be a new proposal coming for high densities on the east side, which entry they're gonna use for the new side? Because if the new condominiums, which is 7 stories, are gonna share the same street as Dixon, it'll be a problem. So I'm just questioning for the new proposal, where gonna be in and out for the exit on the east side of the entire design.
Through the chair to Councillor Tree, the proposed development to the east for the 7-story building is not proposing to share this access. It will have its own access from Elgin Mills Road West.
Okay, yes, much better. Another maybe recommendations, because this house is at the corner of this Dixon, really leading to a sharp turn. So if possible, when the new proposal coming from nearby east side, can we just trying to maybe negotiate a talk with the new proposal builders? Is there any way they can leave a certain space, like one line, to widen the entry of this corner, at least when you turn in from the Elgin Mills west side, you do have a little bit buffer, just echo Eric concerns. If that road is still one lane, both sides, and make sharp turn will be very dangerous. If there are any buffers or spaces, allow the new builders give us certain space, we can smoothly move in, and this way, maybe this corner will not be sharp, like 90 degree, maybe have more buffers to allow the drivers safely drive in there. Also, I see a lot of trees here, definitely gonna be a vision blocking. So that is my suggestion for not only for a single project we discussed today, but also for overall for the people residing and living in that townhouse area. I don't have further questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. So if there's no other comments, I don't think there is, we have a motion on the floor to receive all comments and refer them back to staff. All those in favor of that motion? Opposed? That carries unanimously. All right, so thank you, everybody. And we come to the end of the meeting today, and we need a very exciting motion to adjourn. Councillor Silovitz, would you like to move that? You look excited. Okay, good. Seconder for that, Councillor Shu, you also look excited. And all those